delighted to welcome back Barry Thacker, who joins us from the beautiful Falkland Islands in the South Atlantic. So following on from our first interview, Barry, I was really just wanted to touch on the move from the UK down to the Falkland Islands and St. Helena as well in the South Atlantic, and you've spent some time down there. And just really interested to hear your thoughts and reflections on policing in the South Atlantic, perhaps what you brought from the UK, which has been beneficial to you in doing that, and perhaps some of the real challenges in policing St. Helena and Falklands, which have their unique challenges, beautiful as they are. So welcome back, and I'll, if you be happy to share your reflections on working down there on the overseas territories.
So, 32 years retired from Derbyshire, and just before my 50th birthday, as you do, wait up to 50. Had a great time. I got a little bit bored then, so I probably had about a year off, something like that, doing the bits that you always been putting off, decorating the house, tidying the garage, stuff as you do. And then I thought, hang on, I've still got lots and lots of life left in me now, because if I stop, then I've led a really, really busy life. If I stop now, my body's just going to go. So, saw on LinkedIn an advert for a PC down in the Falklands, and I thought, yes, 2-year contract down in the Falklands. I can go back, do a full circle. So no budgets, no politics, no policies, no nothing. Just go back to basic policing as what I joined to do. So I applied and was successful in being a PC down here in the Royal Falkland Islands Police. It's, 3,500 people population. There's more sheep on the island than there are people. I think there's something like 400 sheep per person on the island. So I police villages that are bigger than the actual islands here. Got involved with the community, and they are an absolutely amazing community. Doors are left open, keys are left in cars. The honesty and the way the people look after each other is just totally amazing. It's like stepping back 50, 60 years in the UK. People talk to you. I've come back to my car and there's been a dozen eggs sat on the front seat of the car saying, "Barry, got these extra, I thought you might like them." It's such a great community. A story really at Christmas, last Christmas, we had someone walk into the front office with £600 in cash and handed it over, said, "I've just found this outside in the street." It's that kind of community. Anyway, back to my career. Sorry, I can tell I'm a negotiator. I talk for England. So so I was a PC down here for probably seven months when the inspector's contract came to an end, and I was asked whether I'd apply for the inspector's post, the deputy chief of police. I came down here to be a constable. I talked to myself and went, "Well, you've done that now, Barry," and the rest is history. I applied for the inspector's post and did the inspector's post here. So running away from policies, politics and welfare issues, I got away for about 6 months, something like that, 7 months or so. Absolutely great police force. It's a small force. There's 28 of us in total. We run the entire control room for the island, so maritime, fire, police, ambulance. We are isolated down here. We're very dependent, as are a lot of as I come on to St. Helena and Ascension when I've just finished with the Falklands. We're very dependent on that boat once a month to bring in us our supplies. And you very quickly learn to be very self-sufficient. Never have I seen an advert saying bananas now in stock for a supermarket and everybody rushing to get a banana, and milk now in shortage and stuff like that, because, you can tell as the month goes along that the shelves start getting emptier and emptier, and still we get the boat coming. It's like Millionaires Weekend when the boat's in, because you've got everything. Two small conurbations here, main conurbations in the Falklands. So we have the capital city of Stanley, where the majority of the population live. We've also got a military camp 35 miles up the road, the Mount Pleasant, where there's a mixture of military and civilian contractors there. That's our two main conurbations. The rest, there's probably about 700 or 800 people then scattered over the 7 islands that make up the Falkland Islands. I have a great relationship with the military police. We swear them in as, we call them reserves, but in the UK they'd be specials, constables, because it's a good hour drive up to there. So if anything happens, they can use their civilian powers to keep it under wraps until we get there. Keeping it under wraps, that makes it sound as though it's like the Bronx, doesn't it? It's really, really a safe place. It really is. Last year, I think we had 48 arrests for the year. I know some of your viewers that are watching in their forces are thinking, goodness me, I had that in an hour. So it is safe. There's no or very little acquisitive crime, very little theft. Burglaries are unheard of. Everybody looks out for each other. Our main problems are really public order, drink-related type incidents. People have a little bit too much to drink. It's only £1.50 a pint here, as opposed to probably £5-6 back in the UK. So there is a tendency sometimes just to get a little bit more drunk than what maybe you wanted to, and you have the fallouts. The next day, big mates again. So it's getting used to that culture, getting used to that self-sufficiency, looking out for each other and caring for each other. So yes, I did 3 years here on the Falklands, and then St Helena called, so my contract came to an end on the Falklands. St Helena are advertising for a training inspector. Training background, as I mentioned before, when I was telling you about Derbyshire. So I went to St Helena for a year as their training inspector, brought on their new recruits, set up a training course for those people. But the contrast in the islands, so the Falkland Islands, quite affluent, they've got fishing rights, farming, a really good economy. St Helena, not quite so much of an economy, very more dependent upon British funding and British support there, which was a contrast, because I'm quite in a privileged position here in the Falklands of having a reasonable budget in order to effectively police the islands. St Helena, I had a budget, but I had to be a little bit more careful on how we spent it there. Again, a beautiful island, slightly warmer than the Falklands, which was nice. It was a nice change. But the island life is just something, if you ever get the opportunity to come down and work on an overseas territory or an island, the community and the culture of the islands is just something you've really, really got to experience. And if I can be as cheeky and have a slight plug here, should you wish to be interested in coming down to join me on the Falklands or my colleagues elsewhere in the territories, please get in touch. We'd love to share this great experience with you. I was also fortunate as well to be on Ascension. So I went to be the chief officer there on Ascension Islands. Again, slightly warmer than St Helena. It was nearer the equator. That was the first time I experienced a Remembrance Day service with not only the UK there, but the American. There's an American base on Ascension. So I can remember thinking as the national anthem was playing, I'm saluting, thinking, yeah, I know I salute for the national anthem, but when the Stars and Stripes come on, what do I do there? What do I do there? I saluted throughout for respect, but it just flashed through my mind saying, what do I do? What do I do there? So, yeah, all in all, 3 islands, 3 totally different communities, but all equally as nice. and I've had a great experience. I'm also responsible for South Georgia, South Sandwich Islands, and the British Antarctic. I've not had the opportunity to get down there, so if the governor's watching, please, miss, can I go down there? Again, just a little plug. The problems we face, so the difference between the UK and policing an overseas territory. There's far less of you, but you've got to provide the whole spectrum of policing. So I have to police nationally on probably what is, in some areas, a shift of 20. There's 28 of us covering 24 hours, covering the entire remit. So there's 2 or 3 officers wearing different hats. So negotiator, supervisor, peace, covering, as I say, covering numerous things. Sorry, I've just got distracted there. There's a job just coming through the window that was just flapping me there, so I apologise for that. If you do get the opportunity, please come and join us on the territories. It's an experience I wish I'd have done earlier, so I could have enjoyed it longer. It's been really good, Trevor. So thank you for the opportunity of allowing me to share that experience.
Barry, well, thank you. And there's a number of people who I know have worked on the overseas territories, but your portfolio stretching right down almost to the Arctic with South Georgia and Sandwich Islands, and it's quite a beat, that one, isn't it? So, but thank you for sharing your reflections. They are quite extraordinary places to work. We're going to finish now, if I may, because I'm in the third segment. I just want to explore with you around kind of what advice would you give people if they want to come and work on the islands? You've made a really good plug for the overseas territories, and people will be interested. But thank you for your reflections on an equally extraordinary career in the South Atlantic, on 2 of the very most challenging overseas territories, beautiful as they are. So for now, Barry, thank you very much, and then we'll get together for a third chat through and just building on the overseas territories and how people should best prepare if that's what they fancy doing. But Barry, thank you for your, again, very personal reflections. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, Trevor, and thanks to your viewers. And I'll catch you on our next info.